So Sab Samuel joins me now as founder of Drag Queen Story Hour. Let's actually hear instead of making suppositions about all of this. I'm delighted to say that Sab joins me now. Sab, thank you so much. I mean, sorry that I got very passionate about that, but if we're going to talk about mental health, the mental health of people who threaten people because of what they choose to do and what parents choose to take their child to, that's to me more concerning. So Sab, tell us what it is. What people are saying, why tell stories to children in drag? Why?
I mean, why not? I think there's so much here that he's talking about. It is an important topic, and yet it's also been completely blown out of proportion. You know, I think lots of these people think I'm doing something that I'm actually not. So for a little bit of context, I grew up without a single LGBT role model to look up to. I literally sat underneath a picture of Alan Turing in my school during the years as well of Section 28. I am a victim of Section 28, and I didn't have a single LGBT role model. Like every other gay man out there, not a single gay man role model I could look up to. So do you know who I did look up to? Powerful women like yourself, Trisha. Powerful women like Madonna, like Lady Gaga. They are the powerful people that I went to look up to be. Why are they surprised that we're now sat here embracing femininity with drag? Why are they surprised? Femininity is not just something to be tolerated, just like LGBTQ. We want to embrace it. It's fabulous. Why wouldn't we?
Well, Sab, so let me throw some things at you that Claire and other people are saying and callers are saying and what have you. And I'm not going to put callers on when you're on because I don't want your mental health to suffer. I'm going to protect everybody's mental health as much as I can on this show. But let me just ask you this. They say you're over-sexualized when you do these storytelling things. It's over-sexualized. Children are going to come away confused about who they are. I still don't get it. Call me thick, because if you can watch Lily Savage on television in drag and doing all of that, then I don't understand the difference. One's in your living room, and televisions, as we know, are very up close and personal. And one is in a library. So are you over-sexualized in what you wear?
I think Claire and every other protester that's protested outside our events.
Well, Claire wasn't there. To be honest, Claire wasn't there. Claire wasn't there, but the other ones, yeah.
Claire was actually outside one of my libraries in Glastonbury last year. So she has attended. She wrote a whole article about it, I think. A very well articulated article. Claire is not a stupid woman. And I love that, because intelligent women is something we should be talking about too.
Sab, sorry to jump in there. I'm going to jump in there. Hold that thought. We've got to take a quick break. Break. But hold that thought. We're going to come right back to this after this break. Stay with us. Welcome back. We're being inundated with messages. I'm with Sab Samuel, who's founder of Drag Queen Story Hour. Sab, you were saying, what is it that people don't understand? I without calling in other groups and what have you, and who may or may not have been there outside protesting, I just want to, because the time being, I want to barrel on through. So people who say that drag queens reading stories are over or hypersexualized, I'm just going to say, people are saying things like it's important who we pay attention to, especially before the age of 7. How about we get some strong male role models, get that right, to do some reading, shock horror. We do. It's just that the newspapers have highlighted. We get firemen who do it. We get policemen who do it. We get all sorts of people who do it. Drag at Talk TV. Why do you think parents have a problem with Dragtime Story Hour? They're trying to protect their children from something they think is inappropriate. This library, we're focusing on the Tate Library. Parents chose to take their children there. They weren't forced. They chose. Don't paint them as bigots. If drag queens are okay, how about strippers? I don't understand. That's just naked dancing. Yeah, but a stripper couldn't do what Paul O'Grady did. Talk to you, V. Trisha, panto dames are not the same as drag queens in pubs telling dirty jokes in a pub. Yeah. It's like a family comedian is not the same as a comedian that tells dirty jokes in the pub. Totally with you there. Drag queens are gay men. Not necessarily. What's his name? Who did Mrs. Brown's Boys? And Mrs. Doubtfire, Robin Williams, they weren't gay men. Brendan O'Carroll, that's right, he wasn't a gay man. And neither, because I've actually met Dame Everett is also, he's not a gay man either. Anyway, panto dames can be gay or straight and light entertainment. Reading to kids isn't entertainment. Well, it is for the kids. Drag. Hi, Trish, love the show. On the transvestite storytime issue, we aren't covering a transvestite storytime issue. Transvestite is something else. Transvestite is completely something else. The question I think are being overlooked. Why is this a good thing for children to be exposed to? We're not even talking about transvestites. This is the trouble. People don't educate themselves. A transvestite is, broadly speaking, a man who feels compelled to dress up as a woman. Has difficulties and issues around their sex, doesn't want to change their sex, but wants to put on women's clothes. This is not what we're talking about here. Anyway, you seem to be defending this activity. You must already know, so I just told you. So explaining it did that. Great show. Drag queens, for me, are mostly gay entertainers and should not be compared to actors portrayed in pantomimes. How do you know whether the drag queen in pantomimes, there have been gay drag queens in pantomimes as well, and there have been straight drag queens, both on television and in pantomimes. Paul O'Grady, gay. Brendan, what's his name? Mrs. Brown's Boys, not gay. I don't think young children should be involved in storytelling. They're my older kids. I thought, well, parents have decided that. Hi, Trisha. Read drag queens. I personally think they're amazingly good fun. I love to see their makeup and flamboyant costumes. They look so fantastic and are hugely entertaining. Long may they continue. Susan. Drag. Hi, Trisha. Men wearing skirts. One of my neighbours who's from the Bay of Bengal wears a long skirt. Sarong. Hello. Many cultures do. In the summer months to be cool and comfortable in the hot weather. Talk TV. Classic conflating of drag queen with a personal expression. Samuel reads his authored books in a children's setting to promote his politics. He doesn't dress like that to go to Tesco. Why does he pose with the porn star open mouth? Well, that's where we bring in you, Sab. What are you thinking like that when you hear things like that? Is it about pushing your own agenda? Is it about over-sexualizing children? Is it about newspapers creating clickbait so they can make more money? Oh, my God. Right. So, over-sexualizing children. That's and wearing inappropriate clothes. Yes or no?
These people have used the word sex more than I actually ever have. If anybody's sexualizing children, it's them. What we're talking about is mental health. What we're talking about is bullying. My first book, on the very back of it, literally says, stop bullying. That's probably not doing it very well, is it? But it literally says, stop bullying. This is about the mental health.
But are you pushing your own agenda?
I had, whilst I was at school, with the word gay being thrown at me negatively. Yeah. I hated myself growing up because I thought being gay was negative. All I want to do is be the role model that I wish I had when I was 5 years old.
So, Sab, what if you went in there as I'm telling you, if you went in there as a gay man reading a story as well? I was going to say, well, would that be any different? No, it wouldn't. It would still. I don't think it'd be any different. But why the drag? Why the drag?
It's fun. Why not? Drag is fun. Drag, historically, has also been at the very forefront of LGBTQ rights. If it weren't for drag artists and trans people, we wouldn't have Stonewall and we wouldn't have Pride as it is today. If it weren't for these people, historically, I wouldn't be able to actually be doing what I'm doing now anyway. So, really... So,
some people are going to say, why quote unquote push that onto children? I don't see how anyone's pushing anything on when those parents chose. They chose to take their child to take place.
By pushing onto children, it's kind of insinuating that it's children couldn't be gay or trans. I was a gay child. I was 5 years old and absolutely gay. I just didn't know what the word was. And if I'd been told gay is a good word and gay is fine, I wouldn't have gone through the horrendous mental health battle and the somewhat self-loathing I had to go through just to get to the point now where I actually don't just tolerate myself, I love myself. And this isn't about trying to increase tolerance. It's about trying to make people understand you don't tolerate LGBTQ people. You have to admire them and love them too. I'm not something that just to be tolerated.
But what about the people? What about the people that say this is why should children have this pushed on to them? What about the children who are sitting in the audience who've maybe never considered whether they couldn't give a rat's about whether they're gay or straight or whatever? Is this just to speak to the couple of kids there who may have issues? Is there a message for the kids who are happy with their sexuality?
Yes,
is it preaching to assuming they're all converted?
There is a message for people who aren't LGBTQ and won't end up maybe realising they are. When I was at school, I got horrendously bullied by multiple people. One specific bully, as I got older, reached out to me, and I sat and I had a drink, and he apologised to me with a tear in his eye, saying, "I'm so sorry the stuff that I put you through." That little message that I am doing to kids is it will be causing conversations like that. It will be causing and preventing conversations like that from happening. I have had children come out to me and say, "I'm gay. I haven't told anyone, nor my parents. Should I come out to my parents?" And my answer to that at the time and now is, you should only come out when you feel comfortable to do so, and when you are. And that conversation happened before the pandemic. Many years later, I actually bumped into them at the same space that they asked me, and they've come out and they've now got a partner and they're completely happy. And the catalyst to them living their true selves was coming to Drag Queen Story Hour. That is what Drag Queen Story Hour is about.
So it's about tolerance, and as people are saying, why just gay, drag queens, what have you? And I keep reiterating, libraries and schools, I know, have people like me, have firemen, have policemen, have nurses, have all sorts of people reading stories. But if the newspapers reported on that. Drag kings, I have to be honest, I have an offspring who is a drag king. And works in the mental health system. I've talked about them before. I don't want to identify them because of the vicious bullying and because they are helping so many other people as a mental health social worker, which has got nothing to do with sexuality. They're talking to elderly children and what have you, and people won't know at work. That's why I'm not bringing it out, because no one would guess at work at all about what they do. They're not pushing anything onto anyone. They're just trying to save lives, gay, straight, old, young, children, people in prisons, etc. That's their job. So I kind of get it, but lots of people don't.
Unbeknownst to lots of people, during the Tate, exactly the same time, elsewhere in the country, Drag King Story Hour had actually put on a Drag King Story Hour with a different museum. At the same time, and it was somebody. They were dressed as a drag king. They are, I believe, a woman, and that went on, and it was fabulous. So this is, it's just about having a good time. If a kid goes away not actually getting any type of message to do with inclusion and positivity, if they just left, haven't had a great time, then I still feel like I've done my job. At heart, I'm a children's author. I write children's books that have inclusive messages, but are fun. My book, it has the word poo in it. Children love poo.
Sab, thank you. And I've got to say, to me, it's no different from Dr. Ranj writing an inclusive book about how children of colour can be doctors and nurses and what have you. There are many of that. But like I say, they don't. Sab, hold that book up again for people who are listening and feel bullied. And I know from my messages that, just hold it back a little bit there. Oh, we can't. Blurry. We will. There you go. There's something. The United. Three Dogs United. Is that it?
On Drag Queen Story Hour UK.
All right. Well, Okay, thank you very much for that, and thank you for being part of this. There you hear it from Sab Samuel. You may be rest at ease. You may have I don't know how you feel. Let me read some of the more messages. Some of those are done. Sorry, and we're going to take our calls. Talk to me. Hi, Trish. Right. I've done that. Drag queens. Personally, I think, yes, we did that one. Men wearing skirts. We've done the messages. Let's come to the phone calls. We've got phone calls online. I'm told we've got to take a break. We'll take a break. Then we will come to your phone calls. Wow. Back in just a moment.